Hi, this is King of Review. True or false? The equations y equals 2x squared minus 3 and y equals 1/2 x intersect only once. So there are a couple of ways to solve this problem. You could use substitution and find out how many values of x you get. That would tell you how many intersections there are. Or you can graph these two equations and visually see where they intersect and count the number of intersections. So let's try graphing them. You can use your graphing calculator, or in this problem, I'll graph it by hand. So we have y equals 2x squared minus 3, and we have y equals 1/2 x. So I'll do a table of values for each of these equations, and then graph the points on a coordinate plane. So I'm going to graph x equals 0, 1, 2, -1, and -2 for this. So I'm going to plug in each of these x values into this equation here and solve for y to get the y coordinate. So when I plug in a 0 for x is right here, I get 2 times 0 squared minus 3, and this gives me -3. So the point 0, -3 is on this graph. And going down the line, I'm going to plug in 1 for x, and when I do that, I'll get a -1 for y. When I plug in a 2 for x, I get 2 times 2 squared minus 3, and this gives me 5. So the point 25 is on the graph. And when I plug in a -1, I get a -1 for y. And when I plug in a -2, I get a 5 for y. So let's plot this. Here's my x-axis and my y-axis. So I'm just setting up my coordinate plane right now so that I can plot these points. Okay, now I'm ready to plot. So our first point is at 0, -3. That's right here. Then I have a point at 1, -1. That's right here. I have a point at 2, 5, which is right here. I have a point at -1, -1, right here, and a point at -2, 5, which is right here. So now, using these data points, I'll fill in the parabola. So we have a parabola like this, and this is our parabola portion. So this is y equals 2x squared minus 3. Now I'm ready to plot this equation, y equals 1/2 x. So I'm going to plug in the points 0, 1, 2, 4, -1, -2, and -4. So I'm plugging in each of these x values into the equation y equals 1/2 x to solve for y. So when x is 0, I have y equals 1/2 times 0, which is 0. So the point 0, 0 is on my graph. When I plug in a 1, I get a y value of 1/2. When I plug in a 2, I get a y value of 1. When I plug in 4, I get 2. When I plug in a -1, I get -1/2. When I plug in a -2, I get -1. And when I plug in a -4, I get -2. So let's plot these, and I'll do these ones in red. So we have a point at 0, 0, which is right here. We have a point at 1, 1/2, which is right here. We have a point at 2, 1, right here. And we have a point at 4, 2, which is right here. Now we have a point at -1, -1/2, so right about here. And we have a point at -2, 1, which is right here. And the last point is at -4, -2, which is right about here. So now I'm going to use these data points to fill in the line. So we have a line like this. And where are the intersection points between the parabola and the line? Well, we have one right here, and we have another right here. So it intersects not once, but it intersects 2 times. So this is false. Letter B is correct. Thanks for watching.